Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about, I actually respect this tip more than a lot of others. Doordash driver delivers Taco Bell order. Then he sees his tip. So a lot of different delivery drivers on Doordash UberEats and Grubhub firmly believe in the concept of no tip, no trip. Some believe in a more bid for service mindset. And while we don't know what side of the aisle this gentleman is on, he is about to break down what he believes is a good tip to him based on the experience he had during a delivery. So with that said, we are talking about everything that is being said in this article, how it actually is for Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, and everything in between. But before we do that, quick warning, I do have a bit of a cold. I may come across a little congested. I apologize in advance. I'm trying to follow through regardless. With that said, let's get started. In any customer-facing job, there's no telling just what side of humanity you're going to encounter on any given day. It could be the kind and passionate version of the world with the customers who are respectful and appreciative. Or it could end up on the completely opposite side with customers who do not even care a little bit about the folks making or delivering their foods. And that latter point is a lot more than most people give it credit for. You know, a lot of people aren't a fan of the contactless delivery, but I'll tell you what, I find that the contactless delivery specifically did prove something. That tipping for a lot of people was more of a social thing to them than actually caring about their people. Like, sure, I totally understand the prospect of wanting the company to pay for their workers and rather be seeing a set price, blah, blah, blah. But based on your choosing not to tip your server or whatnot, number one, you are showing based on your actions that if you were in the position of being a manager, you wouldn't pay your people either. That's number one. And number two, that you're just not worth working with. That reveals that if in the event that you could get away with it, you would. That is why I am a firm believer in no tip, no trip in certain industries where tipping is a major factor. Most of the time, it is likely to be somewhere in the middle, like receiving a cash tip and change packed up like an illicit substance. Actually, I've seen that before. I've actually received a Ziploc baggie of quarters and nickels and stuff because that's all they had to tip. And they were physically incapable of tipping otherwise. But I've seen that more for orders that have a smaller tip up front. Not that they had a large tip on the app. They tipped before and after. So that was the display of character I normally experience. At least that was the experience of one Doordash driver who says they were tipped in coins. In a video posted to TikTok, user Wilfredo at Wilfredoluciano on TikTok says his wildest night delivering one single sauce packet from Taco Bell has been topped by an odd sort of tip. First off, I'm going to leave his TikTok as well as his profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject. Second, I think it's genuinely impressive that you took an order that had only one sauce packet and no tip and didn't see any red flags. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of drivers would actually see that as a way for DoorDash to get scammed or the driver to get scammed and fished for information and whatnot, because that happens a little too often. I'll tell you what, I actually made a video not too long ago about a customer experiencing that specific thing. The link is going to be in the description. Feel free to check that out. But quick note before anything, DoorDash support doesn't call you. You call support. If they ask for information, they never do that. Don't do it.
Let me just say that I never thought, like in a million years, that any DoorDash was going to top that one time when I delivered one singular sauce packet from Taco Bell. But my goodness, Taco Bell has done it again, because do you want to see my tip from this most recent order I just did? What is that? Is this a literal dime bag? There got to be like 50 cents in here max. Why is it wrapped like narcotics? yikes.
Yeah, and it's always the literal smallest possible Ziploc bag, too. It's so funny. That also said, 50 cents to do an order, I wouldn't have taken that. DoorDash tipping. Tipping on services like DoorDash and in general become a bit of a hot button topic of debate online, with some falling into the camp of encouraging others to always tip at least 20%. Then there are anti-tippers who do not see a reason to tip under any circumstances, wanting employers to abolish the tipping system and simply pay employees more. You see that right there? The anti-tippers, those people have no value at all. Like, those aren't people anybody wants to work with. They want to push the responsibility upon anybody and everybody else. They clearly don't care enough about you. One viewer suggested that the customer was simply trying not to be rude despite not having enough money to leave a proper tip. I actually respect this tip more than a lot of others. One commenter wrote, they probably couldn't afford to tip but didn't want to be rude unless it was a big expensive order. I like it. Honestly, I'm not a fan of it at all. He literally only tipped 50 cents. They shouldn't actually receive their order, number one, because they probably didn't tip on the app. And number two, like, if you can't afford to use the service, you shouldn't be ordering at all. Like, that is just dumb financials right there. I am not responsible for you not being able to pay for something. Another shared his own experience with an odd order, although it was very specific. Bro, for real, Uber be giving me stupid orders too, bruh. Someone ordered some dumb condoms, and I didn't know until I got there. I would have declined that, one commenter wrote. Ah, yes, the condom order. You gotta love those. Those are so funny. You know exactly why they're ordering it. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. If you only have the ability to tip in change and less than $1 and not at all on the app, you shouldn't be ordering. I don't care what your obviously wrong opinion is on this. You not having the money to tip your driver is not the responsibility of the DoorDash driver to accept the loss of income simply because you can't pay for it. Like, imagine if all businesses operated that way. Oh, you couldn't get that bag of cookies from the grocery store? Let's leave 50 cents in a Ziploc baggie on the cashier counter and hopefully they'll be okay with it. Nobody is okay with it. Why should the person who has $5 pay for the bag of cookies for full price while you pay for 50 cents? That makes no sense. Which is why I'm so firm on the idea of not taking orders under a certain dollar amount with no exceptions to that rule. Seriously, why should one person get the exception and the other one shouldn't? Because the mileage is shorter? Maybe, but it doesn't change the fact that your time is still committed to that order. Why should you drive for 20 minutes for one person and 20 minutes for the other and get paid less for one and they do the other? I wouldn't do that. That's me personally. Look, I know that's going to come across as crude to some people. That's just reality. And either way, to this guy, I will say this. It's no tip, no trip. Not no tip, do the order anyway. Not no tip, accept the Ziploc baggie and pocket change if it happens to be there, because in most cases it's not there. Not no tip, even expect a tip after service at all. No tip, no trip. It's that simple. Although I am very happy you didn't get your information stolen from a phishing scam. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.